So for chapter 11, we're to discuss the significance of the concept of ethical leadership. So basically, ethical leadership is having the ability to sort of guide or direct other people towards a goal, whether that be at work or on a sports team or whatever. And then when you bring in the ethical part to it, the ethical leadership side is doing that, the leading towards a goal through ethical decisions, the ethical dimensions, and going about it the right way. I mean, you can definitely say that like there are some leaders out there who are really effective, but they're not ethical. Immediately, Hitler comes to mind. He was a leader, but he wasn't ethical like whatsoever. Versus, I don't know who. Can't think of an example, but someone who does it the right way. Martin Luther King Jr. That's a good one. So that's basically what happens with ethical leadership. It's definitely vital and important to a company or business because it's going to help in the long run when you're doing things the right way and how they should be done. Things are going to be a lot less risky. You're going to avoid less issues in the future, whether that be financial, legal, harassment, whatever that is. The ethical side is going to help you avoid those problems. So that's why it's going to help sustain you, is to sustain your business over a long period of time compared to non-ethical leadership. And it kind of creates a culture that makes everyone feel safe and people want to come together and actually go to work and continue towards that goal. There are a lot of benefits. That's one right there is one of the big benefits. Obviously, you create a stronger ethical culture. You go about your ways through the organization and not necessarily allowing employees to follow their own moral sort of things. Basically, a lot of skills are involved and it has an effect on the business. And basically, some of the skills I'll list off from what we have here: model organizational values, understanding employee values and perceptions, recognizes limits of organizational rules and values. That one's, I think, is something that's important. Not wait for ethical problems to arise. They're proactive. They're role models for the organizational values. Have a passion for doing things the right way. And a lot of this rubs off on their employees. And that's one of the major benefits is once one person that you have a leader who's going to be able to do that, it kind of like trickles down and everyone's going to feel like that. Transformational and transactional leadership. Let me scroll down. So we have the transactional leadership is basically leaders who create employee satisfaction through negotiating or bartering for desired behaviors or levels of performance. To me, this is kind of like not necessarily being having that authority sort of. you kind of allow them to have some power involved, I guess you could say, because you can't just say like, hey, do this. Obviously there's going to be some like sort of negotiating involved, and to me, if you're doing that in order to get desired behaviors, one that I feel like that's not a strong leader. I think to a certain degree you have to like negotiate a little bit, but not to the extreme where like it's like all the time with every big thing. So that's just my opinion on it, I guess. You have to like make sure that your employees are happy, but you also have to be firm and do things the right way. And then you have transformational leaders who strive to raise employees' level of commitment and foster trust and motivation. To me, like, this is my ideal leader. They're doing everything that they can to help the company and help everyone want to continue to strive towards that goal. That's their main focus. And that developing trust part, I think, is huge when it comes to that. Yeah, so that's sort of like the good and the bad, or the bad and the good, I guess, in my eyes anyways. I would preferably like a transformational leader rather than a transactional leader. And then basically sort of the relationship between manager and a leader. So a leader versus a manager. So a leader like wants what's best for the company, and then a manager is just like there to do his job, I guess, in sort of a sense, I guess you could say. I think a manager is there to use his power and authority over you, versus a leader who is going to be there to help build you up. They have that power over you, but they're not going to abuse it. They're going to use it to the best of their abilities to help build you up to create a better company. So that's what I think. Yeah.